we had kind of kicked around some things about government and exile, things like that. And I said, well, when did we do this? He said, there's only one date. He says it has to be Tiananmen. And we got to start on the evening before here in the United States, because we have to honor those that died by actually starting everything we do at essentially dawn in Beijing. So that's how important the Tiananmen massacre was to the formation of Mao Zedong.
Right, and that's absolutely, that's God's mission, and that's we try to honor all these people who lost their lives, and I think that's a holy date, June 4th.
Holy date, yes.
Absolutely, and the realization, it not just to, like I always mention, I always say, like for the American people today are just like the students, the Chinese students on the Tiananmen Square in 1989. And we are speeding towards the eve of June 4th. So the realization and the reason, one of the reasons why we're here is not just to commemorate the big massacre. And that's why, like, I think you brought up a really good point about media. If there were war rooms, if there were gathered, if there were President Trump, we could have stopped the massacre. But now, like, if you look at the tactics, it's been 36 years, and you mentioned about, like, we couldn't even find any, pictures, many footage. I remember yesterday you asked me for the CCTV footage. There's none, right? Nobody's talking about it except for a few. And the realization here is that the CCP never changed, and it cannot be trusted. That's the biggest lesson we learned, and those students lost their lives to learn this. That the tactic they use, like a couple hours before the massacre, like they're still putting on TV, like Li Peng is talking to the student leaders, and it seems like they're gonna strike a deal. And 2 hours later, they got run over by tanks, right? So it's exactly the same tactic they used right now and in 2019 when Liu He came over and talked to Trump. And at the same time released a virus in Wuhan and killed 1 million American people, and they've also stolen the election from you guys. And right now, like just 7 hours ago, President Trump just posted on Truth Social saying that it's very hard to make a deal with President Xi because like they never honored their deal, right? The only thing they're trying to do is to stall the time. They believe, Xi Jinping firmly believe, this is from our intel internally, that firmly believes President Trump gonna maybe assassinated or lose power in 2 years, and he's been ready. He's been preparing for that, and he's been spreading lies as well about like how President Trump wanted to do a deal, like want to call Xi Jinping every single day, and it becomes a joke because like in China, there's a ringtone about it called President Trump, like Xi Jinping, please call me, right? So, so the tactics, sir, is exactly the same. Do you agree?
I agree. I definitely agree. And it's we have to be more cunning and tougher. President Trump's got a broad range of responsibilities. One is to keep the world from devolving into a third world war. Go over this over and over again. They are not playing by the rules of the West. They're not playing by the rules that you've grown up with. They're not playing by the rules that the Chinese people have grown up with. This is an entity that's been passed down now for what, 70 or 80 years, that's lethal and most lethal to the Chinese people. And if you don't deal with them in the same level of cunning, in the same level of intensity and urgency, you're never going to beat them. And I think that's why on the 5th anniversary, it's very important for us to think about the lessons that Mao Zedong taught us.
100%. You captured so wonderful.